Alright, so now that I finally have my podcast back up and running, we are going to start doing some more episodes. Now, for today's episode, let's talk politics. I'm sure for many of you that is going to be a very touchy subject, as it is the day after Election Day, and not everybody seems to be too pleased with the results. So for this episode, I am not going to share my political views. I am going to stay as neutral as possible and just explain my understanding of Trump's policies and just what this new set of 4 years is going to look like for us. So let's talk politics. All right. Well, first things first. I have been seeing a lot of hate going around on every single platform, and it is insane. It is ridiculous, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, you're entitled to your own political beliefs and your own political views, and it doesn't matter what it is. It really does not matter. I do not care which side of the political aisle you are on. I don't care if you're the person you elected won or lost. I do not care if you are upset about this or you're excited about this. Regardless of where you stand politically, everybody needs to treat everybody with kindness and respect, and that is not something that I'm seeing. The results are in. Trump won the election. There's nothing we can do about it. The only thing we can do about that is how we react. How are we reacting? People seem to be panicking, absolutely losing their minds, and honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I get it, you're not happy with the way the election went, or you are happy with the way the election went, but we need to tone it back a little bit, and we need to calm down. If you do not agree with somebody's political views, walk away, scroll, don't listen. You are not being forced to engage. You do not have to respond, and you do not have to react, and you certainly don't need to be overreacting. I have been seeing a lot of people who were voting for Kamala going at people who voted for Trump, saying, if you voted Trump, do not talk to me, block me, do not talk to me ever again. That's a little bit dramatic. Just because you disagree doesn't mean you need to stop talking to somebody. Just don't talk politics with them. It's really not that hard. If your friendship is going to end based on your different political beliefs, you guys didn't have a strong friendship to begin with. Sorry, but it's true. You can't not be friends with somebody because you disagree over one small thing. And to some people, it may not be that small, but that's what I'm going to get into, because people believe that Trump is going to take away all of our rights, and I don't believe that's the case. From my understanding, he's going to leave them alone. He's not going to touch our rights. So, all that being said, you do not have to engage, you do not have to respond, you do not have to react. Let's get into Trump's policies and my understanding of what he's going to do. So, everybody's big concern, I would say probably the number one concern, is abortion. Everybody's concerned that Trump is going to ban abortion. It does not matter who got into office. Abortion is not at the federal level. It is at the state level. Therefore, if your state bans abortion, it is because your state chose to ban abortion. Not because the previous president is banning abortion, but because it was the state's choice. So it doesn't matter who got into office. They can't ban it at a federal level. They can't say all states have to offer abortions at a federal level. So by Kamala using that as her main way to try and get people to vote for her, she doesn't have control over that. That is not in her line of power. And it wouldn't be even if she was president. So you guys do not have to worry about abortion. I'm not going to go into whether or not I agree. on abortion. That is a completely different conversation to be had. But simply just know abortion being banned is at a state level, not a federal level. Now, the other one is the LGBTQ rights. I have been seeing a lot of people are saying I have to be straight, like Trump's gonna ban gay marriage, I have to go back in the closet, stuff like that. That's not true. Trump does not care. He literally does not care. He's going to leave that alone. As for the trans movement, that he is going to try and get rid of. But he can only get rid of it so far. Because from my understanding, he's trying to ban it for children. He's trying to ban transitioning and hormone access to children. So people under the age of 18. Now, if he was trying to ban it to everybody past the age of 18, that I would say is taking away rights, because as an adult, you have the right to choose what to do with your own body. I feel if you were a child, unless you have parental permission, that should not be okay, because if you really think about it, if you are under the age of 18, you can't get a tattoo. Most states won't tattoo you under the age of 18, even with parental permission. So why can children go and get hormones and surgeries as children, not as adults? And even still, I don't think that should be something that should happen until like after 25, when your brains are fully developed. But because you're, 18, you're an adult, it really doesn't matter. That's not his problem. And so I think people are overreacting a little bit, and they're trying to make him out to be this big evil guy who's gonna pretty much put us on lockdown and make it like, I don't know, they see him as a fascist and a racist, and I don't think that's the case. Has he said some stuff that he should not have said? Absolutely. But if we're being so for real right now, everybody has. Everybody's human, everybody makes mistakes. And the thing with politics is all politicians are gonna be shitty. Like, you're not gonna get a good politician. And that leads me into my next point, which is really frustrating, is why were we going for personality, not policies? I talked about this on my Instagram, I talked about this on my TikTok, and I'm going to touch on it again, because to me it's so frustrating. All I heard throughout the election was, I'm not voting for Trump because I don't like him. I'm voting for Kamala because I don't like Trump. I'm voting for Trump because I don't like Kamala. Whatever it was, neither side of the political aisle, the candidates included, neither side of the political aisle could give anyone a genuine reason why they should be president. The two candidates were saying, oh, vote for me because Trump sucks. Vote for me because Kamala sucks. Okay, what are your policies? What do you plan to do when you get in the office? What is it that you're planning on not doing when you get in the office? And that applies to the people voting too. Why are you voting for Kamala? Why are you voting for Trump? Like, what is your reasoning behind it? What is the policies you agree or disagree with? Why are we basing it on personality? And it's like, we can't vote based on personality, because personality isn't going to change our economy. And that should be the big concern. Respectfully, our economy possibly hitting another Great Depression, possibly hitting World War III, to me is more important than anything else. And it's insane that people aren't seeing that. They cannot look past the fact that they do not like Trump. And that drives me insane. People need to start doing their own research. The internet is so unbelievably biased, and people just follow the masses. People are sheep. If a large group of people agrees with it, odds are you are too. You probably are too. Because you're not going to want to sit there and do your own research, which is going to be the downfall of our society, is the blind leading the blind. Like, come on, do your own research, figure out who you agree with, and don't go into anything with, I'm gonna go this way because I don't like that option. That is not a good way to go about anything, and especially not a presidential election. I understand that people are not happy that Trump got in office. If you are upset because of how he is as a person, you're ridiculous. If you are upset he got into office because you don't agree with his policies, that's fine. That's respectable. You can be annoyed about that. You can be upset about it, whatever. But do not make a big deal about it, and do not go shit on other people who do agree with his policies. Just because somebody voted for Trump, that does not automatically make them racist, fascist, whatever you want to say. That does not make a person anything. That just means that that's their beliefs. We are so split down the middle by politics that we can't get our heads out of our own asses and look at the bigger picture. We are so sensitive as a society that somebody we don't like getting into office is having everybody throw a temper tantrum. That is ridiculous. We are not 4 years old. We are grown adults. And the fact that people are throwing a tantrum and arguing like toddlers is ridiculous. So, take a step back. Again, if you do not agree, do not engage, do not react, do not respond. If you do not like Trump because of his personality, that's fine, but look at his policies. Do you agree with what he's going to do for our country? And don't try and look up that 2025 bullshit, because I've heard that that's going to happen, and that had me really scared. And I was like, that seems a little much. Like, that's a little bit excessive if you ask me. That's not what he's going to do. Project 2025, I think, was made by people under him. Like, I'm pretty sure he came forward and said he's not going to do that. So again, abortion, that is a state level, not federal. Gay marriage, does not give a shit. Immigration, I can't remember if I touched on immigration. He wants to close the border and send back undocumented immigrants, which, yeah, that's not what people are saying he's going to do. They're saying he's going to send back all immigrants. Not true. He's going to send back the undocumented ones, and he's going to close the border. Which, if you really stop and think about it, that is not racist. That is protecting our country. Now, that's not to say every immigrant that comes in has bad intentions for us as a country and for our people. But crime rates have gone up. Just saying. Again, not to say that everybody that comes in is a criminal and has bad intentions. Another thing, if we close the border, human trafficking, gonna be more difficult to get people in and out. It is too easy to get people in and out right now. Human trafficking rates have probably gone up significantly. The other thing, if people come in here documented, if they have papers to prove it, they can get better jobs. They can be able to support themselves. And I feel that's the whole reason they're coming over here, is to start over, to start something new. Okay, so get papers. You don't want to be working those shitty side of the road, barely being able to pay for anything jobs. You want to be able to get an actual job, an actual education. I know it's a hard, long process. I looked it up. I've talked to people. I've done my research. I get that it's a hard, long process, and not everybody wants to go through, and not everybody has the time or feels they have the time for it. But it's something that needs to be done. And papers is the safest way to ensure their success in our country. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I don't believe it's out of a racist intent to keep everyone out. I really think we need immigrants because they bring so much to the table. They bring so much new ideas and concepts and things into our country that help us grow. Immigrants help us grow. But by possibly letting in criminals, that's going to backset our progress so much. And I feel that's the problem, is that many people don't stop and really think about like what's going on. They just listen to the masses, and the masses are saying, oh, well, Trump's going to send everybody back, like illegal immigrants. If children are born here, they're going to be ripped from their mother's arms and sent back, or the mothers are going to be sent back. And I don't think that's how that works. I think that's extremely inhumane, and there's no way that's his plan. Now, little side note, one of the biggest things that was interesting to see was who went out to help the hurricane survivors. Donald Trump. We don't know what Kamala Harris was doing. And I was talking to somebody, and I said, I don't believe that Trump did it for publicity. If it was a publicity stunt, I believe Harris would have gone out and done it. But instead, she was off doing who knows what, while these people are literally struggling. And Trump went out and he helped. And I thought that was really cool. And again, I don't believe it's a publicity stunt, because I wholeheartedly believe Harris would have done it if it was a publicity stunt. She would have made a huge deal about it, but instead she was nowhere to be found. So, all that being said, politics has become a very touchy subject for people, and it's okay if you don't want to share your political views. Like, that's fine. That's your choice. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. What's not okay is people absolutely going for each other's throats over political views. We are allowed to agree to disagree. We have opinions for a reason. We have the democratic or the Republican democracy, or whatever it's called, for a reason. Our system is built the way it's built for a reason. It is to give everybody a choice, everybody a voice. And this election, a lot of people didn't get what they want. That doesn't mean you get to throw a fit about it and shit on everybody else. That's ridiculous. That's childish. We are grown adults, and we need to start acting like it. So, again, all that being said, be kind, be respectful, treat each other with respect. You don't like it, you don't have to react, you don't have to respond, you don't have to engage. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you next time.